Today's video is about Child Protective Services, CPS, refers to government agencies in the United States that investigate allegations of child abuse or neglect and, if confirmed, intervene by providing services to the family through a safety plan, in-home monitoring, supervision, or if a safety plan is not feasible or in emergencies, removing the child from the custody of their parent or legal guardian. Without further ado, let's get into it.
What do you do if DCS comes to your house investigating you for whatever? This is a real risk that every single parent should know about, and here is why. The mandatory reporting laws are very broad. They say that you must report any suspected child abuse or neglect. Which is great. Mandatory reporting laws are great. The problem is that that is an incredibly broad statement. Somebody could suspect abuse or neglect for just about anything. There was a very famous story where a 10-year-old walked to the store and the mom was arrested for neglect.
They say it protects children, but they don't say how many families it tears apart without proof, without process.
So there's so much judgment involved that every single parent risks DCS showing up at their house. And then you have to know what your rights are and what can you do. DCS in Arizona has the right to talk to your children without you to investigate abuse or neglect. They have that right. They can do that at your home. They can do that at the school. Now, you do not have to let them into your home without a warrant. They get to talk to your kids, but they don't have access to your home if they don't have a warrant. So that is something that you can opt out of. You will also be interviewed by DCS. Now, you have the option to have an attorney present with you. You can also direct CPS or DCS talk to the attorney to schedule a time to talk to you, which is something that I would recommend. So
You can direct them. But what does that really mean when one side holds all the leverage?
you could let DCS or CPS know, I have an attorney and I'm represented for this. Can you call that attorney to schedule this meeting? Their schedule is more complicated than mine. As far as what do you tell your children, this is a tricky one. You want to tell your children, I tell my children, that they should exercise their right to remain silent if they are ever brought into the school office and asked to write down a witness statement of something that occurred or something they were involved in. I want them to not do that, and I've informed them of that. If they are questioned by police and the police think they may have done something, I don't want my children to talk to the police about that. So I've talked to them about that in advance. I think we maybe need to start having that same conversation with our children about DCS. And explain to them that anyone can report suspected child abuse or neglect. And that could be anything. Like one of my lawyers has 2 autistic kids, and sometimes they scream, and they're screaming from her house, and a neighbor showed up and was like, are your kids okay? Are you torturing them? Like, you just never know. So I think we need to tell our kids, this is how the law works. There is, at any point in time, you could be asked by DCS if you're safe, if you've been abused, if you've been neglected. And if you don't feel safe, if you have experienced abuse by someone, first, if you think it's parents, I would hope that you would talk to me first. We need to talk about that. But if you have experienced abuse, I really would like to be the person that helps resolve that, because I think we can resolve that better than a state agency can, because the risk is that you're taken away and you're put into a foster home. That's probably going to be a controversial advice right there. And I'm just talking about me as a parent and a lawyer, knowing everything I know, seeing everything I've seen.
We break down power, policy, and the systems that shape our lives. Subscribe to America Now, focus to stay in the conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the bell so you never miss a moment that matters.